Well, let's take one step back. Now, the massacre took place. Rajiv Gandhi was elected with a landslide victory. What happened then as far as the killings, the genocide in Delhi was concerned? What happened? What was the process? Because there was a reasonable amount, not too much, of public pressure to bring some of the guilty to book. What did the government do?
What the government did, that first of all, in the November itself, they appointed a Marwa committee to go into the role of the police.
And that's Ved Marwa.
Ved Marwa.
Who
to go
became
into,
police commissioner shortly after the riots.
After that time he was the additional commissioner, to go into the role of police. I am told that Marwa was quite close to submitting his report, and he had identified few officers also who were involved and actively involved in the violence. Moment that happens, the government gave him the instructions to stop the inquiry. And he was asked, now Mishra Commission is appointed, you hand over all the documents to Mishra Commission. And the documents are handed over to Mishra Commission.
But he was also made CP Delhi.
Later on, the Marwa became the CP Delhi. Now, all the papers are handed over to Mishra. 2 years passes. 87 Mishra gives his report. Mishra says, it is not part of my job to identify anybody. Appoint another committee. Again, the buck is passed. Another committee is appointed. Now, that committee, when it goes into, it recommends a case against Sajjan Kumar, they go to High Court. That committee's appointment is challenged. Only on one technical ground. That whole committee is quashed. One technical comment. In 1989. Till 89, there is a stay committee cannot proceed.
So that's 5 years.
5 years goes
and nothing
in
happens.
that, nothing happens.
And what about the due process of, in some of the cases where there was some evidence or some FIR had been launched, was any progress made in any of those cases?
No, in those cases, it was meant the courts repeatedly, and even the High Court has criticized the police severely that they have made a farce of investigation. If you see the investigation in a case of theft of a cycle would be much better than the investigation in these cases where hundreds of people were killed. The investigation was so defective that nobody could ever expect.
But there was a riot cell.
This was all, the riot cell was made later on, and the riot cell also did the same thing, what the police was doing.
And then the CBI was brought in.
CBI has been brought in only now, recently, and now the CBI has also adopted the same attitude. You see what they were doing? I mean, like a victim who goes to make a complaint. The victim makes a complaint. What they do, start doing after that, calling that victim again and again, again and again, again and again. Tear the victim out, record 6-7 statements, and then you say there is contradiction in these statements. They do not call the accused even once. Do not even ask any question from the accused even once. And they say there are contradictions in these 6 statements, case is closed. This is what the manner in which the Delhi police has behaved throughout. In one of the cases against HKL Bhagat, the police did the same thing. So that time Vijay Kapoor was the Lieutenant Governor. So I met Vijay Kapoor, I told them to take legal opinion now of a law officer. So he sent the case to AHG. The additional Solicitor General gave an opinion in writing that I am shocked to see the manner in which the investigation is conducted. He said they have made this victim as accused, and the accused is being treated as if he is a very high.
So the police,
above the law.
The police, like the politicians, the Congress party, they've been protecting their own throughout.
Throughout, there has been absolutely no doubt, but not the protection. The manipulation is going to such extent. Even the manipulation went on such extent that they will. Even the judiciary they tried to manipulate. In one of the cases against
and it seems that they were able to manipulate the judiciary to some extent.
Right. That's what
Justice Mishra's...
Justice Mishra is one example. Now the second example I am giving you. Justice Ward was hearing a case. Before him, it came that a widow gave a statement, affidavit, that Sajjan Kumar was leading the mob which killed my husband. Now Justice Ward said, this affidavit is sufficient to record FIR. Why you are not recording FIR? The government council somehow took an adjournment. The matter is put after 15 days, And in 15 days, what do the government do? They bring out a Chief Justice. They bring a new Chief Justice here, and on the day the case was listed, on the morning the Chief Justice joined, and he tells the registrar, withdraw the case from that Justice Ward's court and list it before me. And he simply returned the case. He didn't do anything. But this is the kind of the manipulation which has been.
Virtually every arm of the government.
Law enforcing agencies, every arm of the criminal justice system was manipulated.
The executive, the judiciary,
the police, the executive, the judiciary, the political leadership was manipulated. I mean, there has been some judges who rose to the occasion, like Justice Tingra. He was the one. He is the one who gave these convictions, like Justice Nildev Singh. And there are some other judges of the High Court, Geeta Mittal and Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul. They gave good orders, but otherwise in the manipulation they have been doing in such a way that the case.
So would it be correct to say that, you know, some sort of a mythical truth has been created about, you know, the riots? I mean, even the popular press, I'm talking about the newspapers, and now I'm talking about the very energetic, so-called energetic TV channels. I mean, there seems to be this resistance to state that, yes, the Congress, which claims to be a secular party, was involved in what is perhaps, or it is not perhaps, it's the truth, the biggest genocide that India has ever witnessed.
You see, you study 84. It is a very good case study for somebody to see that how in a democratic setup, the killing a particular community could be targeted and thousands could be killed, still maintaining that we uphold the law. I mean, I think,
and we uphold the law, and we are the pillars of secularism.
We are the pillars of the secularism. And I think if somebody studies and goes deeply into it, he would say that Hitler was a fool who openly declared and killed Jews. He should have followed this, but the Rajiv Gandhi government did it here. It should have been done in this manner, that you will not even come to know that this has been done by the government. I mean, if this is such a case study, and they did not to do.
And you know, well, as a journalist and as a child who actually saw some, you know, mobs moving towards, towards South Extension and all. I used to live near Andrews Ganj, Moorchand Crossing. You know, I'm afraid to say that they have succeeded, haven't they? They have succeeded in manufacturing this truth, which says that it was a spontaneous outburst of emotions without impacting their, their citadel of secularism.
You see, the point is this now. No doubt, initially they succeeded. Initially they succeeded to a large extent. Now what's happening, more or less, the people know it. Official record still does not. But the people know it. It was not in any case a spontaneous reaction. Now they have succeeded in scuttling, in again suppressing the truth by sheer brutal power.
Power and time.
Power.
I mean, if
by the passage of time, the things erode.
And and if it wasn't for, you know, people like yourself and others who have, you know, who fought for the victims. I mean, you know, 2,733 officially killed.
You see, we are doing it. The reason is now. I mean, this is what we were telling from very beginning. Many times I have told that do not think that 84 is gone. Now nothing like this would have happened in the country. If you do not punish the guilty, it may happen anytime, anywhere else. You see Gujarat?
History repeats itself.
Gujarat, this has happened.
Now,
if you forget 84 today, and then you forget Gujarat, then be prepared. There will be another somewhere else it will happen, and you never know who will be the target.
That's one of the points that I always tell people is that if 300 people or 400 or even 100 people had been hanged in the 1984,
forget about hanging. I say forget about hanging.
Maybe Gujarat wouldn't have happened.
Forget about hanging. If the 100 people had been put behind the bars, given the life imprisonment, because there were thousands whom the victims named, if the cases had gone according to law, there were thousands would have been behind the bars by now. I say forget about the 1,000. If 100 people had been behind the bars, that would have sent a clear message probably the Gujarat wouldn't have happened. And probably this would have been a message to the politicians over here that this country, you cannot scuttle the process and the law.
But if what you say had happened, then even Rajiv Gandhi would have had to stand trial.
I think if we see Rajiv Gandhi, probably we would not have been ever able to put him for trial, because there is no direct evidence.
But the responsibility, let's look at it from a responsibility of the Prime Minister.
That is right.
And his cabinet.
If you stretch it to the extent of the way the Naji trials have gone, then of course he would have been. But taking over here the people.
What about the Home Minister? The Home Minister Narasimha Rao became India's Prime Minister.
Now you see, that is true. But here, even the people who are actually leading the mobs, they are not being tried. What to talk of the people who are merely, who are for negligence, or who are for conspiracy, or for dereliction of duty? I mean, the people like Sajjan Kumar and Titler who were actually leading the mob. There is so much, even they are not being tried, they are not even being tried. Even the cases are being closed. Look at this. This is what's happening. I mean, putting Rajiv Gandhi to trial is something very, very big.
Write to me about what you think. This is Arjun Bhagat for the Breaking Views. Goodbye.